Attention, attention. IPOB One Family. This announcement is for those outside of the USA that wish to donate to the Eastern Security Network Fund that is based in the United States. Because of the fees that donators have to pay the bank when sending wires, we recommend that if you're sending less than $250, that you donate through the IPOB USA website. It's fast, simple, and less expensive for you. Go to our website, www.ipobinusa.org/donate. That is www.ipobinusa.org/donate and make your contribution. When it comes to keeping our people safe, every bit counts. After all, the security of our communities is our responsibility. Let's make this happen together.
Yeah, Mr. Bella once again. Wisdom, heal it, come on, get up.
Say Biafra will not last forever. They say happy up in no go stand. What did they know? What do they know? What do they see? What do they see? If you give me a gun, I will shoot them aside. If you give me a gun, give me a gun, I will shoot them aside. If you give me a gun, I will shoot them aside. If you give me a gun, give me a gun, I will shoot them aside. If you give me a gun, I will shoot them aside. No, no, no. Biafra will live forever. 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 Ogerugo manige tetanura. The lovers of Biafra. This is the time we need to come together and fight for what is belong to us. Ogerugo maniga bandizu, what make us a giant of Africa. Adam Pochinti na Sugo Mbogeru Nisina Nyama Kweno. Hello Lisa Binigwe, out of his wisdom, giving us somebody like Nnamdi Kanu for this our race to mission. Biafra will not last forever. They say happy up in no go stand. What did they know? What do they know? What do they see? What do they see? If you give me a gun, I go shoot them aside. If you give me a gun, I go shoot them aside. If you give me a gun, I go shoot them aside. If you give me a gun, I go shoot them aside. If you give me a gun, I go shoot them aside. Oh no. See Ojukwu, our hero, how the forcing never stop. Nnamdi Kanu, but no one will stop. They cannot stop. Biafra will live forever. Believe me now.
But independence for Nigeria as a corporate entity is not enough. The peoples of Nigeria must at the same time be guaranteed their freedom. We must ensure that in an independent Nigeria, individual citizens throughout the land enjoy liberty, human dignity, and equality under the law. There must be one Nigeria with one constitution and one law for all. Let us therefore, Mr. Chairman, sir, close our ears to the Council of Despair, which says that we cannot here at this conference agree on a constitution.
coming. Freedom is coming. Oh yes, I know. Freedom is coming. Freedom is coming. Freedom is coming. Oh yes, I know. 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 Oh yes, I know.
In Africa, listen! Pastors in Africa, listen! We have pulled my people, God said, through your witchcraft, magic, and seducing demon. And I say to you, enough is enough! Judgment is coming to you, pastors in Africa! Judgment is coming to you unless you repent now, God said. You have deceived my people. You have proselyte my sons and daughters. You seduce them and bring them to immorality. You teach them to rebel against me. You have seduced them. Enough is enough, God said. Enough is enough. I will turn the country to humility. And every false shepherd will be removed in the church. And every seducing leaders will be removed and cut up in the land. And I will raise up another. Will teach my people to love me, to serve me, to worship me, and to obey me.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are watching from. Thank you for joining us this beautiful Sunday morning, afternoon, evening, depending on where you're watching from. This is live and direct on Enter Biafra Channel 1. As you can see, I've not slept very well because yesterday we had 8 complete hours of fundraising from morning till evening. And on this note, we have come this afternoon, the first live broadcast today. We are going to be addressing the CNN. A lot of you must have watched with disappointment, and some people who do not understand what CNN did, we're happy. But this afternoon, we have come to set the record very straight and then also call the attention of the CNN to do what we call a rejoinder of that particular documentary they did on Biafra. So if you are watching me today from Enter Biafra Channel 1, from YouTube, from any other channel where you are watching from, you have to now begin to tag the CNN, tag them on Facebook, tag them on Twitter. Make sure we call the attention to this particular video, which is not going to last very long. And the idea is that if they pretend not to know what they should have or they ought to have reported, we have come to tell them, we have come to teach them, we have come to tell them where they made mistake and the need to correct them. We have come to tell them where they reported something that is false. We've come to tell them where they should make corrections. And because we believe CNN have a reputation, and that reputation and integrity that the company has set for many decades should be maintained. So you have a job to do. You have your role to play. The role you have to play this afternoon is to tag that woman. To tag, or not only her, tag her if you know her account on Twitter. Go to Twitter and tag her. If you know any person that her name or his name appeared as part of those who took part in the documentary, tag them. We must call the attention. By the time we have thousands of people that will be watching this thing live this afternoon, every one of you tag them, that will get attention that we are addressing the lies they told against us. So, For us to start, we are going to play the video, we are going to play the documentary from the CNN, and then we are going to address it. And as we are addressing this, we are looking forward to see the CNN make correction of this report they dish out to the public without scrutiny. It has become very, very imperative that we cannot allow any media to lie against our leader, to lie against Biafra, to lie against the struggle for Biafra. No matter how small the lie may be, no matter how inconsequential the lie may be, if it is coming from a giant media, we will fight it with our small strength. And believe me, by the time we put all our strength together, we will fight them and they are going to retract from those lies. So this afternoon, we have come. If you are complaining about CNN, if you are complaining about any other news media and not reporting about Biafra, you have a job. When those who dare to report it begin to lie, you have your part, you have your role to play, and it is time and it is the day you are going to play that role. Tag CNN on Twitter, tag CNN on Facebook, tag them anywhere they are, and until they listen and make adjustment and make correction on that report. Now we are going to bring the report to the screen, and hopefully I found the report on Biafra. Here we go.
Just came here and
right. So we're gonna start now bringing this to the screen, and we have to make this as snappy as possible. We are going to come live maybe 3 times today because we have a lot of things now that we have to address, and we are lacking behind because of other underground work. We are lacking behind. So I'm gonna bring this to the screen, and here we go.
region of Nigeria. When demonstrators came here in support of their leader, the voice of the indigenous people of Biafra region of Nigeria. When demonstrators came here in support of their leader, the voice of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, a separatist movement that wants to break away from Nigeria, is this man, Nnamdi Kanu, a Nigerian British citizen who has been on the run since 2015. Kanu was arrested in June and extradited from Kenya back to Nigeria. It is part of...
Kanu was arrested in June and extradited to Nigeria. CNN reported that Kanu was arrested in June and extradited to Nigeria. That's a blatant lie, and that lie must be corrected. We are demanding that the CNN report and correct this lie told here, that Kanu was arrested and extradited to Nigeria. That is unprofessionalism taken too far. That is unprofessionalism taken too far. A high-profile case like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case, a whole CNN cannot just come and start reporting like some news from Abatete. We are demanding to know from the CNN if CNN have received an extradition document, extradition order from Kenya or from Nigeria that made them to spend their time and resources and money to report and give a documentary report about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu abduction, and they are using the word arrest in June and extradited to Nigeria. We are going to listen to this report, and then I am going to give you, bring you the meanings of extradition and explaining it to you from the legal perspective, and then I will also bring to you the meaning of extradition so that we will know the difference between extradition and extraordinary rendition. And the CNN, which is a well-respected, reputable media house outlet in the United States of America, and they also have their offices and branches all over the world. The reporters and the journalists working under this company should have known there is a difference between extraordinary rendition and the extradition. So this is a very expensive lie. This is a very, very expensive misrepresentation of facts and cases against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and against Biafra. And we cannot just fold our hand and watch them go away with these malicious, deliberate lies against Biafra to begin to sell to the international community and position their mind to the fact or to the lies that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was arrested. 2, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was also extradited to Nigeria. This is a deliberate and malicious act by the CNN in trying to reposition this story and narrative to the international community and their wide, worldwide audience that watches the CNN and listens to it. So, especially those with a special vested interest in Nigeria, we are going to address them, and we are demanding that, 1, they should provide a document showing that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was extradited from Kenya to Nigeria. The documents should be provided because for them to have come to report this, it means that they've done their investigative journalism, which CNN should be leading. 2, they should tell us where did they get the information about extradition. Have they done underground work? Have they contacted Kenya? Who told them? Where is the evidence of extradition? Where is the evidence of arrest? Where is the arrest warrant? And where is the communication between both countries? Where Kenya have said, we have arrested him, so come and take your goods, in court. So we need to see those documents stating that Kenya communicated with Nigeria and asked Nigeria to come to Kenya and take Mazi Nnamdi Kanu because they have arrested him. Because as a journalist, as a news broadcasting company, well respected as CNN, you can't just come and start giving a documentary that you have no fact to back up your narrative. At least you have no fact. In the issue of extradition is a globally recognized process of sending somebody, a suspect, from one country to another, and it shouldn't be a secret. When extradition order is given, it is always publicized because it is very, very extraordinary thing for any country to give extradition order for somebody to be extradited from that country to another. So, the issue of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, if anything like that existed, or if anything like that exists, the Nigerian government ought to have made it very public, including Kenya government. And of course, we know that does not exist. So where did the CNN get this fact and get the document that shows he was arrested and extradited to Nigeria? And I want you to pay attention to the damage. I don't know these people that every time I am live is when you people are calling me. Huh? So, I want you to understand that whenever a narrative like this is being projected by giant media, The government are behind it. Government are trying to get something. And that's why we cannot allow them to rest. And that's why you, if you are a Biafran today watching, if you are a Biafran listening to me, you need to go to work. Begin to tag them. As this broadcast is going on, tag CNN. Tag them 1 million times if possible, until they're listening to this broadcast I'm about to do, or that we are doing already. We are going to address them. So I've identified 2 lies here. 1, arresting. 2nd is extradition. It doesn't exist. That was a lie by the CNN. Everybody knows that there is no extradition order from Kenya. There is no extradition order from Nigeria. There is no extradition order of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu anywhere in the world. It doesn't exist. So where did they get that report? Where did they get that paper? Where did they get that document? Who told them and who is feeding them? Who are they working for? Who backroll the people that made the documentary under the name of CNN? Right? Let us continue.
Nigeria is this man, Nnamdi Kanu, a Nigerian British citizen who has been on the run since 2015. Kanu was arrested in June and extradited from Kenya back to Nigeria. It is part of...
Arrested in June and extradited to Nigeria from Kenya. That's a big lie. That's a big lie.
...for crackdown on growing calls for independence. Analysts say Kanu is just filling a vacuum left by multiple failures of government.
The increasing popularity of these calls is a direct consequence of the...
Now, I think it is very, very imperative to address this thing as we, as we just continue instead of coming back and forth and all that. Coming back and forth and all that. Now, I want to go to, you all have listened to that. Let us even check what is extraordinary rendition. What is extraordinary rendition? Let's check on what is extraordinary rendition. Extraordinary rendition. What does it say? Extraordinary rendition. Extraordinary rendition is the practice of kidnapping, capturing people, and sending them to countries where they face high risk of torture or abuse in interrogation. I wouldn't go into teaching you the deeper and deeper and deeper meaning from the law perspective, the meaning of extraordinary rendition, but in a very plain and lame term, in a very vague term, it is that you kidnap. The word kidnapping must be there. Capturing must be there. And then sending the person to a place where he is going to face torture or abuse. Do you understand that? That is the thing called extraordinary rendition. Now let me tell you, when you talk about extradition, when you talk about extradition of somebody to a country, you are going to talk about extraditing somebody to go and face law. You are talking about sending somebody, you are talking about, first of all, issuing arrest warrant, which means the person have been arrested by a competent court, a competent authority, okay? A competent court will issue arrest warrant of the person. The person will be arrested. Extradition hearing will be conducted. The thing will go to court, go to appeal court, go to until the last, the person will use every legal remedies available to him. After that, if the stand of the court remains that the person must be extradited back to that country, he is going there to face law. Okay? He is going there to face charges, not to face torture. not to face abuse, not to face interrogation. In fact, most of the extradition hearing, the government have always put emphasis on torture, human rights abuse. The other country that is receiving the person will even go to the extent of signing a document that they will not abuse the right of this person, that they will not torture this person, that this person will not be subject to abuse and degrading treatment. The government have to go into this agreement as a document before, even after the court, he can be extradited to Nigeria, for example. Now, you have seen what is called extraordinary rendition. Extraordinary rendition is not that the person is being captured or kidnapped to go and face the court of law. Because when you clearly violate the international law, that country that engage in extraordinary rendition will not have the intent, will not have the motive of taking that same person to court. That is why when we talk about the definition of the extraordinary rendition, the emphasis are not being put on capturing the person, kidnapping the person to go and face law and face the court. No. No. That's why in the definition, the emphasis were put on that the person is being captured, kidnapped, to go back and face torture, abuse, and interrogation, and all manner of degrading treatment. Okay? But when you talk about extradition, let us go to extradition, and you will know what is extradition. Now, this is extradition in a very, very simple way. Very, very simple definition. Extradition is the removal of a person from a requested state to a requesting state for criminal prosecution or punishment. Did you hear that? Did you see that? This has to do with, I'm going to put it to, I'm going to still bring it again. Look at that. To face criminal prosecution or punishment. It did not say to torture. It did not say to abuse. It did not say to be subjected to interrogation. No. But it says to face criminal prosecution and punishment. Put differently, to extradite is to surrender or obtain surrender of a fugitive from one jurisdiction to another. Okay? So, is it that the CNN don't understand English word? You don't need to be a lawyer. You don't need to study law to know the difference between extraordinary rendition and extradition of somebody. And then we are talking about a very high classified, a very high profile case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And the CNN is coming here to give this kind of vague report, trying to change the narrative so that their listeners will begin to think that, okay, he was arrested and he was extradited to Nigeria. That's a lie, taken too far. We must all begin to go to CNN anywhere they are. And we are calling on IPOB, indigenous people of Biafra all over the world. You must take your protest to the CNN. Henceforth, your protest must be to the CNN headquarters anywhere they are in the United States and call their attention if they refuse to listen to us on this online target and all that. We must correct this small mistake, this small lie that looks so small, that looks so inconsequential, that sound like they just lied. Nobody cares. My brother, everybody care. Everybody care. You may not care. You don't know the consequences of this thing they have done. You don't know the consequences. You don't know what it's going to do to this struggle. And we must come and correct them. We must force the CNN in America, CNN in Africa, any place they are. We must go there and protest If it is 1 week protest, every day we must protest there. If you know you have CNN headquarters in your own city in the United States, begin to organize yourself. Go there. Call their attention that a CNN news outlet or whatever in Africa have reported about Biafra, and in that report, they lied. In that report, they lied. And you want that the CNN correct the lie. I would have said it is important we even sue them to court. We even sue them. Let them provide information. Let them provide the document. Let them provide where they got extradition order, where they have received the order, where they have received the arrest order of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It is two different things. You don't just, ignorantly come to public and start talking nonsense. You are dealing with Biafrans, intelligent people, educated people, and we can't continue to condone this any longer. So all the IPOB families in the United States, I am calling on you this afternoon, henceforth, channel 1 week protest to the headquarters of the CNN. We have to, until we hear that they are reporting it again. Call their attention. We are going to threaten them with lawsuit because this is a fact. This is a fact of lie and unprofessionalism in the highest order. Okay? You have seen the difference between extraordinary rendition and extradition. It is two different, they are pole apart. They are pole apart. One is talking about torture, abuse, kidnapping, capturing, while other is talking about surrendering, arresting, facing prosecution, criminal charges, and all that. It is two different things. Why would CNN now come and tell us that they have arrested and extradited Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya to Nigeria? Why? Why? I'm going to bring it again for you to understand what we are talking about. First of all, this is extraordinary. This is extradition. Extradition has to do with the removal of person from a requested, so which means you have to request. As you can see, request, removal of a person from a requested state to a requested state for a criminal prosecution or punishment. So, and everything I want you to know, even if you don't understand anything, understand that when somebody is extradited, the person is going to face charges. Law is going to face law court. Okay? Now, going to extraordinary rendition, extraordinary rendition, it says the person, the practice of kidnapping can never be lawful. You know, when a word kidnapping comes in, it is no longer unlawful. So there is no way somebody will kidnap you and take you to court. Okay? You cannot be kidnapped and at the same time, the person kidnapping you will take you to court. And that is where the word trial before trial comes in. You cannot kidnap somebody and take the person to court. Two is that, or capturing people and sending them to countries where they face high risk of torture and abuse in interrogation. Okay? So when this extraordinary rendition is being defined, you can't see that the person will come to court. You can't see that the person is going to face the court because the country that extraordinarily rendition the person don't have the intent, don't have the motive, don't have the intention of taking the person to court in the first place. That is why our leader did not appear in the court the last time. Because it was never the intention of Nigeria to take him to court. Okay? It was never the intention of Nigeria to take Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to court. Because it will be very laughable that they went all the way to Kenya to kidnap him bring him to Nigeria, and there is no evidence against him. All you hear is what did they call it? Treason. All you hear is treason this, treason that. When you ask Malami, the Attorney General of the Federation, what is treason? He tell you, all I know is that treason is treason. That is the definition of treason to Malami, your so-called Attorney General of the Federation. I remembered when the Channel Television asked Malami, so what is treason? He said that treason is treason. And the federal government will try anybody that commit treason. As far as I'm concerned, treasonable offense is treasonable offense. What is treasonable offense? He can't define it. He don't know the meaning. But let me tell Malami today, in case he don't know, let me tell Malami what is treason. Treason is overthrow of government. Overthrow of government can be defined as treason. Overthrow of government. Did Mazi Nnamdi Kanu want to overthrow government? The answer is no. Is any of IPOB member want to overthrow government? Nigeria government? The answer is no. So you see, and the point is that they know this. So when they want to bring Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to court, what are they going to be charging him of? What? What is exactly the charges? Conspiracy. Conspiracy, right? Conspiracy to do what? To commit treason. Or has he committed the treason? Because the point is that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have not committed treason now. Okay? So they are going to charge him of conspiracy to commit treason, right? So the conspiracy to commit treason is by fighting for Biafra. That is why they cannot bring him to court. But let us continue with this CNN report first. That's not why we're here.
The failures of the Nigerian state, or more broadly speaking, even of the Nigerian project.
The last time there were calls for independence in Nigeria, an estimated 1 to 3 million people died during the Biafran Civil War in 1967. But these calls are also being driven from outside Nigeria. This quiet London street is not exactly where you would expect to find the hub of a global network of pirate radio stations broadcasting their separatist agenda back into Nigeria. At the registered address, we meet Darlington Imo, Radio Biafra, a Kanu ally and Biafra sympathizer. Even with Kanu off the airwaves, his disciples remain committed to the cause. Do you think that Nnamdi's arrest, Mr.
And did you hear that? Let me take it back a little bit.
Airwaves, his disciples remain committed to the cause.
His disciples remain committed to the core. How many of you today are proud to call yourself disciple of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Of course, some people are angry that Simon Ekpa is disciple of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But look at CNN. CNN is recognizing you as a disciple of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that remain resolute, remain focused to the core. But when Simon Ekpa is the disciple, you will be angry. You will be jealous. He is disciple of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He is not IPOB member. Okay? But did you see? CNN is calling you disciples. I believe they must have copied that from me. But let us continue.
Even with Kanu off the airwaves, his disciples remain committed to the cause. Do you think that Nnamdi's arrest, Mr. Kanu's arrest, means the end of the Biafran movement?
Definitely not. If you kill one general, another general takes his place. Definitely not. Yes. Definitely not. We want the referendum. We are not asking for. We are asking for a referendum, which is a civilized thing to ask for.
Analysts say that is a pipe dream.
Well, I think first of all, the Nigerian government will be afraid to allow a referendum to happen. And the fact that it will be afraid to allow a referendum to happen shows just how the problem is.
But the cracks may be beginning to show. President Muhammadu Buhari tweeting in June about how the Nigerian government will deal with separatists. Twitter removed this post, deeming it offensive, and days later, Buhari banned the platform entirely from Nigeria. While Kanu remains in custody, that hasn't deterred protests in southeastern Nigeria, where IPOB had ordered a shutdown of work and economic activities every Monday, although that was recently suspended. What seems clear is that the nation could be at an impasse.
Worst case scenario, of course, is that before 2023, the country essentially de facto disintegrates. Perhaps not into a full-blown civil war, but into a lot of skirmishes, into a lot of violence.
An already fractured nation.
It will go into a full-scale civil war. We have seen it. Fulani are preparing, and they have prepared, and they are ready. The question now is that you, the reporter, you, the Mr. Commenter or commentator, what I'm going to call you, the question is that, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because you are not a Fulani man. This person responding to the question, you must be Duduwa, our brother from the Duduwa side. So the question is, when this country go into a full-blown civil war before or in 2023, are you ready to defend your land? What have you done to sensitize your people with this platform of CNN, sensitize the world that may have something to contribute to save lives in Nigeria? What have you done? You have not done nothing. You are only here to respond to questions. You have not even done anything not to create awareness to the world, to the viewers of CNN. It is not late yet. It is not late. And we must thank them. We must thank them for making this documentary. But at the same time, we are calling on them to make sure they correct this lies told. It is too expensive for our liking. It is too expensive for our liking. Very, very expensive for our liking.
Ill afford another conflict. So, Linda, there you have it. Those are the issues.
So this lady here is person that everybody must look for. Her Twitter, you must look and locate her Twitter account, locate her Facebook account, send video to him, tag her, send this video to her, tag her, and make sure that she understands from where, from which perspective we are coming from. Make sure she understands that she have goofed big time. Make sure that we, compel her to make a rejoinder to this particular documentary or report, as the case may be. Because one thing about social media and videos is that once the video is out, you don't know whether when you make another one, the same people are going to see it. Now, people who have watched this video, especially those who are not very conversant with what is going on in Africa and in Nigeria, will have the understanding from the beginning of this narrative that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was arrested and extradited to Nigeria. That was not true. That was not true. So go and locate her from Twitter, from Facebook, anywhere she is, any social media she's using. Tag her and call her attention to this video we're making today. There is need for her to correct this particular mistake. We can't just let it be. We can't just let it be.
Of the separatism facing the country right now. And of course, Nnamdi Kanu is a British citizen, and this is an issue that the British government is watching closely. They issued a statement after his arrest saying that they are seeking clarification from the Nigerian government about the circumstances of his arrest and detention. But the Nigerian government is resolute, telling CNN in a statement that Nigeria is indissoluble and indivisible. and they say that they will continue with their methods of detection and prevention of crimes against the internal security of the country. Linda.
Okay, so what this reporter is telling us is that Nigeria government issued a statement to CNN, and we believe that if CNN want to tell us that they have received an internal communication from the Nigeria state stating to them that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was extradited from Kenya to Nigeria, we should also know this Busari or whatever her name is, should be able to come and tell us whether the communication Nigeria government communicated with them has this extradition to Nigeria from Kenya. Because from what she said now, it is understandable that Nigeria government have communicated them. Okay? They have communicated them, and from that communication, they have been able to come out publicly to make this documentary. So we have to know whether Nigeria government has paid the CNN or paid this woman to go and start this narrative with he was arrested in June and extradited to Nigeria. That's underlining word. We are not even bothered about they say he has been on the run. Yes, if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is on the run, is the right word. Is the right word because they wanted to kill him, he has to run away. Yes, they wanted to kill him. But when you say he jumped bail, I would disagree with you. So in this particular regard, she may be right to say that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been on the run. Yes. Nobody want to, when you want to kill somebody, you don't expect the person to stay. So on that, the issue of jumping bail, we have been able to correct it. So I must give CNN the kudos for that, for having acknowledged the fact that he didn't jump bail, rather he ran on the run. He's on the run. If he's on the run, yes, even though I will still disagree, but I can accept that he's on the run. On the run because his house and family house was invaded and so many people killed. So he was on the run. I can agree. But not jumping bail. And I will say that today we have been able to correct that particular false narrative. And now another false narrative is coming up that he was arrested and extradited to Nigeria. I will just understand now that the Nigeria government has communicated with CNN, so they need to make their point very clear. Was that included in the communication passed to the CNN that he was arrested and extradited to Nigeria, and CNN did not demand document of to prove that. So we need to have that fact. We need to see a clarification to that. Where do they get that information from?
So Stephanie, the big question really is can the Nigerian government keep the country united by cracking down on this separatist group?
Never. That will not happen. That will not happen.
Well, analysts have been telling me that this is a tough issue for any leader to deal with, and not least in a country that's 4 times the size of the UK, with a population of over 200 million people. Nigerians always been divided, but seemingly so in recent years. And it's a country with very strong ethnic identities, and those ethnic identities are coming to fore more strongly than the national identity. So analysts are saying the leaders are caught between a rock and a hard place. They can't afford to ignore calls for separatism to break away from the country. They must do something. But the crackdowns are really creating more support for this movement, ironically.
And when you look at the screen, you are still seeing secessionist leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu extradited from Kenya to Nigeria. This is really, a deliberate and malicious representative of fact. They are misrepresenting fact here, which is very, very, very worrisome. What is CNN stand to gain? Has the money exchange hand? Has Stefani Busari collected money, the brand envelope from the Nigeria government? because she said that Nigerian government in their communication wrote this and said this and said that. Why are they, you know, where did they get information and the document of extradition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that they have to be doing these damages to Biafra people? Where?
Linda. Protest for breakaway region of Nigeria, when demonstrators came here in support of their leader. The voice of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, a separatist movement that wants to break away from Nigeria, is this man, Nnamdi Kanu, a Nigerian British citizen who has been on the run since 2015. Kanu was arrested in June and extradited from Kenya back to Nigeria. It is part of a crackdown on growing calls for independence.
So, on this note, I request you and ask you all to go to this Stephanie Busari's page anywhere she is. Call her, call CNN. They must make sure they report what fact they have according to, the ethics of journalism and all that. They should not just come and start lying, especially in a case, a high-profile case like this. We cannot condone that. This is unacceptable. This is condemned. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu were never arrested. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu were never extradited. And we have made that record. We've said that record very clear. We've also given you the difference between extradition and extraordinary rendition. And we told you that extraordinary rendition has to do with kidnapping and capturing, sending the person to where they are going to torture him, abuse him, and where the person is going to face a very high risk of torture during interrogation. So when you talk about extraordinary rendition, the government intention is not to take the person to court, but to abuse, to torture and interrogate the person. While extradition has to do with, submitting the person, handing over the person, and going through all the legal process, due process, and taking the person to go to court, to a country where he or she is facing criminal charges and prosecution. This is two different things. So we urge CNN to report and correct this report and documentary they have here. Thank you very much for watching us. Wait us again for the second video, for the second broadcast this afternoon, which is going to happen in a few hours from now, before our late night broadcast. Thank you very much for watching, and see you again in the evening.